What is up guys, there's Stanley27 here bringing you some Battlefield 3 today, and this is episode 6 I believe of Never Used This Before. And as some of you are new to the channel, this is a series where we go back through my Battlefield list and use some of the guns that I've never actually used before while playing Battlefield 3. So this week, or today, we're going to be looking at the SG553, which is actually a gun for the engineer class and is unlocked in the co-op mode when you reach 120,000 points, which is it's quite a lot. It's the 6th gun you unlock for the co-op mission, so you're not going to get it straight away. You're going to have to do a little bit of grinding for it, and is the grinding actually worthwhile? I don't know. I had a bit of a rough day with this gun while getting the clips you're seeing in the background, and I'm not sure whether that's because I've been playing too much Medal of Honor or whether that's because the gun isn't actually the greatest gun in the world. So if we jump into the stats, for the engineer class, it has the pretty standard damage model, doing up 25 points of damage up to 8 meters, which then drops off to 14.3 points of damage at 50 meters, which is fairly standard for the engineer class. I think almost every other gun has the same, apart from the ACR and the Scar H. Also, looking at the damage models doesn't just take into account the damage, it also takes into account the rate of fire, the rounds per minute, which for the SG553 is only 700 rounds per minute, which isn't slow, but in comparison to all the other guns in the engineer class, it's the second slowest. I think it's only quicker than the AK-74U, which I don't actually like that gun whatsoever. I can't seem to do well with that at all. But it's one of the slowest firing guns in the engineer class, which does put it at a bit of a disadvantage, especially if you're going to choose that over any of the other guns. In terms of recoil, it has a 0.25 upwards recoil, a 0.2 to the left recoil, and a 0.4 to the right recoil, which generally means the gun will be pulling more to the right than anywhere else. So maybe putting a foregrip on there will help you a little bit, but it's not an absolute necessity. However, I would say a laser sight is pretty damn good to have on the gun once you've unlocked it. It also has 30 rounds in the magazine or clip. I'm not going to have everyone raising them in the comment section below, whatever, call it what you will, or 31 with 1 round in the magazine. So looking at the stats, it's a pretty basic gun. There's nothing that makes it stand out from any of the other guns in the engineer class, and to be fair, that's why I think this gun falls short. Yes, it's an average gun, it does well pretty much all round, close range, long range, even medium range, but there's nothing that makes it stand out from every other gun in the class. Like, if you really want to choose a gun, go the M4A1. It does exactly the same, has almost virtually exactly the same recoil, but fires 100 rounds per minute a lot faster, which does actually make the difference when you're coming up to someone up close, and that's generally what you're going to come across in Battlefield 3. If you're playing Rush or if you're playing Conquest or anything, you will come up against these people in close range situations. So would I suggest using the SG553 in-game situation? Probably not. I think there are other guns that you can actually use over this gun. I wouldn't suggest using it. However, if you want to give yourself a bit of a challenge, if you want to help yourself out, or not help yourself out, yeah, give yourself a bit of a challenge, use the gun. You're going to be at a disadvantage because obviously people will be using the best guns in the game, as they always will be. However, it's an okay gun. It's average, as I said. There's nothing that makes it stand out above anything else. In terms of attachments, obviously I would put a sight of your choice. The iron sights themselves are terrible. I'm not gonna lie, I quite enjoyed them. I didn't see the need to upgrade to a sight immediately. Unlike sights on the guns, the iron sights on the gun like the FAMAS were absolutely dreadful. So as soon as you get a sight, you kind of want to upgrade those. But with the SG553, they're not bad at all. I would quite happily use them instead of a sight. I mean, obviously you do have the option of using a sight, so you might as well use it. Obviously, just a sight of your choice. I wouldn't recommend going with something that has too much of a zoom, because I think the recoil of this gun, although it's not massive, can throw it off a little bit, especially seeing as it pulls more to the right. If you can counter that, go for it. Fair enough, put a longer time zoom on, but I would generally stick to either like the Cobra, which has no zoom, or the Hollow Sky, which only has I think 1.5 times zoom. So obviously a sight of your choice. I would advise probably putting the foregrip on there. It's not an absolute necessity, you can use this gun without it. However, having the foregrip does just take away some of the recoil, which is always helpful. Almost makes it pull less to the right and more central, which is a lot easier to control. I would also probably recommend either putting the heavy barrel or the silencer on there. You're going to have to choose between the two, you can't have both. in probably Conquest or some rush maps, I would recommend using the heavy barrel, because obviously it does increase the damage over range, which is something that carbines do actually lack quite a lot, which is a shame for the engineer class. However, in team deathmatch or some other rush match where everything's pretty close up, I would recommend putting the silencer on it, because you can go around undetected. You don't show up on the minimap, pretty much the whole point of a silencer. However, if you're going to go into any of the long range engagements, you're going to be at a disadvantage, seeing as the gun does already have a pretty low rate of fire. So keeping that up over the next, well, however many bullets it takes to kill 6 or 7, I think, with the silencer at a considerable distance, is pretty damn hard to win a gunfight against. So only use the silencer in actual, like, proper situations like close quarters, team deathmatch, or some rush bases where you know you're going to be fighting close quarter engagements. However, other than that, I would recommend putting the heavy barrel on. Yes, it does increase your hip fire, but to be fair with this gun, it's not really a hip firing gun, especially with the relatively low rate of fire. So I would advise, as I said, heavy barrel for medium to long range engagements, maybe the suppressor if you're going for new close range engagements, some rush bases. So pretty much that is what I think of the SG553. Not the best gun, pretty damn average, and there's a lot of other guns that you can and probably should choose over it if you're going to go for a carbine in the engineer class. So this has been the Stanley 27. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.